meet the crunch stitch. In this video, you will learn how to crochet the basic crunch stitch, how to recognize the key stitches in the pattern row, and how to change colors in pattern. The crunch stitch combines the half double crochet and the slip stitch. Worked in a 2-row repeat, the stitch pattern is thick and warm, perfect for a cold winter night. When you add color, it really pops. The companion pattern is available by following the link in the description below. So, without further ado, it's time to start. Form a slip knot and then chain an even number of stitches. For our swatch, we're going to chain 30. I'll meet you when I get there. And now, I'm going to roll the chain over so I can work in the back loop, which is the third loop on the back for the first row. In the second chain from the hook, I'm going to insert my hook. I have 2 loops on the hook then, and just pull through everything. That's a slip stitch. In the next chain, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop. That's 3 loops on hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then I'm going to do that again. Slip stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. A half double crochet. Now, a half double crochet is about that tall. A slip stitch is very short. Hence, when you do the next slip stitch, it crunches the half double crochet down. So let's do another one. So that's our slip stitch. Now we do a half double crochet. I'm going to continue to do this all the way to the end of the row. It should end with a half double crochet in the second to the last stitch and a slip stitch in the final stitch. If you begin a row with a slip stitch, you should end the row with a slip stitch. And you can see these little teeny dips. Chain 2. That represents a half double crochet and turn. We're going to skip the first stitch and go right under the top 2 loops of the second stitch, which is right there. Now, let's talk about that for a second. We slip stitched into that stitch. That stitch is actually the top of the half double crochet on the side before. So you're always going to slip stitch into the half double crochets, and you're always going to work a half double crochet in the top of the slip stitch. So we just did a half double crochet. So how you can tell the 2 stitches apart is that the half double crochet has this long horizontal like or angular loop on the back. That is always a half double crochet. That's the third loop on the back right here. The slip stitch is always right before it. So that's how you can tell. So you look for these lumps or these bars that are crossing that third loop on the back. And that will always, you will always put a slip stitch into that stitch. Then a half double crochet in the next stitch. This is a slip stitch in here. That's the top of the half double crochet. So we slip stitched into that. And then a half double crochet into the slip stitch of the row below. And we're going to go all the way across like this. Because the stitches are crunching, you need to make sure that you catch both the top loops of the stitch. So sometimes you have to turn it a little bit toward you so you can see it. Don't want to catch this bar because it shows up in the pattern. Okay, we're reaching the end. And then a slip stitch, and we have one more stitch right here. and we're going to work a half double crochet into that stitch. But if you're changing colors, what I like to do for this particular stitch pattern is join my new color, which is lighter, and pull it through the last part of that stitch on the row below. Now cut off your old color, and the loop of the old color can be pulled through all the way through. So we've just attached our new color very, very neatly, and we're ready to weave this end in before we go on. I'm going to bury my yarn tail right along this edge. And it's very easy to do that, just like that. So far we've done the foundation row and row 1. So technically the third row is actually row 2 of the pattern. So we're going to chain 1. Now, if you want to secure this end a little bit more, chain 1 with that and pull that end through. That will get woven in before we return to it. So we've chained our 1 and we've turned. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch right here. See this bar? That indicates the half double crochet, and we always slip stitch into it. So there, we've slip stitched into it. Now this one we half double crochet into. Slip stitch, half double crochet. So we're going to keep going right along this side, and I'll get to the end. Okay, we're at that last stitch. We started with a slip stitch, so we're going to end with a slip stitch. And there's our 2 loops, end with a slip stitch. Since this is a 2-row sequence, I am back to working pattern row 1. From this point, simply alternate pattern row 1 and pattern row 2. As you can see, our crunch stitch is such a beautiful pattern. Now that you've mastered the basic crunch stitch, it's time to take it to a new level with the drunken crunch stitch. But that's another video. Thank you for watching the video. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos and events. Happy crocheting!